Hi, welcome to this session. Our top 5 tips for engaging your Facebook community. My name's David Drinkall, and we're going to try and compress what we would normally do in about an hour down into 15-20 minutes tops. So just hitting on the really major themes to give you a bit of an overview, and we'll probably offer another longer session in the future that you can get all the finer details on, or you can dig into any one of these tips maybe. Could even be an hour. So basically we're just going to whip through, first of all, talking about what is engagement. Now we're specifically talking social media here and about how to keep our followers, if you like, particularly on Facebook, engaged with our page, our Facebook page. Now, you may approach social media in many different ways, but if you are going to use a Facebook page, then I think some of these tips will be really important. So if you're trying to sell a product or build your brand or create a following or a community or even just complement an existing real life community like some kind of group, then you may have a Facebook page, and engagement is really important to your success. So Facebook doesn't show, for example, all the things that you post on your Facebook page to all of your followers. They actually run the computer itself, or the software decides who to show each piece of content to. And apart from that fact, not everyone's going to log on every single day anyway and see everything that you're posting. So clearly you're running your Facebook page for a reason. That is to get information. So it might be product information or sale information, or it may be information about upcoming events, or it may be things that people in the group are doing. But whatever it is that you want to say, whatever you're going to take your time to post onto your Facebook page, you'd love as many of your followers to see it as possible. And the way Facebook decides who sees what when you post something is based on engagement. So what that means is that if somebody likes your page, they're instantly a follower of yours, and for the next week or two, they'll get all of your updates. But if they never engage in anything that you post, then they will slowly drop off and they'll start to see less of your content until at some point they just won't see any of your posts at all. So technically they still like your page, technically they're still following your page, but they're not going to see anything you post anymore in their news feed, and therefore you've essentially lost that follower. So whatever effort you put into getting them to click like and to be following you and being part of your online community, you've lost basically if you lose their engagement. So by engagement we mean them actually doing something when they see one of your posts. So either they click on the post itself to read a bit more if there's a bit more to be read, or to view an image, or perhaps they click the like button on that particular post, or they might comment on your post, or they might click share. So normally it's like, comment or share are the three main things you're trying to get people to do. So if you have, for example, hypothetically 100 followers, and they all signed on the same day, 100% of them will start to see your posts. But over time you'll notice that only a couple ever click like. They might even love what you're writing. They might even read it and look at the images. But if they don't actually click and tell the computer that they're still interested, then Facebook will eventually assume that they're not very interested anymore. And so they'll stop showing their posts to those people. Now there's lots of other benefits of engagement because it makes your community seem more vibrant and alive. It's more helpful and interesting. You can do things like ask questions and get lots of answers, and people in your community might enjoy reading the answers. So all those other benefits of engagement are super important and excellent. But from a purely statistically, from a promotional point of view, you have to keep people engaged, or else your time spent on your Facebook page is going to be wasted because they're not going to be seeing anything that you're posting anyway. So this, I guess this next 10-15 minutes is really about some strategies that we've seen work well to keep your community engaged and keep your page being successful, if you like. So it's not just about the number of fans or followers, it's about keeping them engaged if you want to truly succeed. Now we've talked a bit about what does engagement mean. You'll need to look at your statistics on your posts. When you're an administrator of a page, to see how engaged your community is, you'll be able to see how many people are seeing each of your posts. Now if you have your hypothetical 100 followers, as we mentioned before, you might find that on an average post, maybe 20 or 30% of your followers see each post. So just underneath each post, it will tell you how many people have seen that post. Now, every time someone shares a post of yours, it goes out to all of their friends, or a whole number of their friends anyway, and that will also add to your statistics down the bottom. So you probably want to take a little bit more note rather than the total overall number, but look at the number of likes you get on posts, the number of comments, and the number of shares. Obviously, shares are fantastic if you can get them, but particularly likes and comments will give you an idea of how many people are actually interacting with your posts. Now, if you click on the time on any particular post, so where it says this was posted on the 15th of July, or it might say this was posted at 7 minutes past 10. If you click on that on your Facebook page or on any particular post, you'll get a more detailed breakdown. And in fact, right at the bottom of most posts, it'll actually say View Insights. And you can click on that and you can see much more detailed information about what exactly people are clicking on. Are they clicking on the image? Are they clicking on a version of this post that was shared from a friend? You'll get a lot more detail. We'll talk about analytics later on as well. So we're going to go through 5 quick tips, hopefully about 2 or 3 minutes on each. The first tip is to know your people. So understanding who you're communicating to is vitally important so that you are giving them the right types of posts, the types of things that they would be interested in commenting or clicking on or liking. And you'll get to know your people over time by checking the statistics or the analytics, or on Facebook it's called the insights, of what they are clicking on and they are commenting on. So you'll actually have to adapt your practice or change the way you post based on what results you're getting to posts, which means that as much time as you spend in posting to your page, you probably need to spend that amount of time or more analyzing your posts. Now, you don't have to do it every day, but maybe once a week, set aside time to analyze your posts for the week and see what was a hit and what was a miss, what worked and what didn't, what times a day worked and what didn't, all that sort of thing. Grab a bit of paper sometime and write down who you think the people following you are. How old are they? Where do they live? Marketers will call this your target audience. So who are your people is the way I like to describe it. The better you understand who your people are, the better you'll be able to deliver value to those people, and that will keep them engaged in your page. It's ultimately down to, if you connect with your audience well, you will find that people will engage with the page and stay connected. And you'll have to learn that as you go. So you can see on this example here, I'll see if I can get the mouse here. These are some posts that did reasonably well on a page we run. So this one had about a quarter of our audience see this post, which is quite good. You can see we had 175 or 180 likes there. And you can also, if we dig in deeper, be able to see how many shares we had as well. That's all in about 16 hours. So that's in about the first day we've checked the stats on that one there. Similarly, over this side here, you can see we've got the number reached. And now these things have moved recently actually to the bottom of the post. So they do move around, but you should be able to still get the same amount of information. So if you go to your analytics, you'll notice at the top of your page, if you're an admin of a page, you'll see that you have a button that says Insights. And if you go to that, you'll be able to view all sorts of information about your page. You can view the types of people, the demographics of the people, how many likes you've had in the last week or the last month, whatever. All those sorts of stats are there. But I particularly like this page here, which is posts, and it breaks down all the most recent posts that you've made to your page, and it will tell you how many people saw the post or just viewed it, how many screens did it go past, if you like. And then these little bars here, if you read the legend, you'll read that they are likes and comments, and you can also view by a few more details by clicking on one of these posts as well, and you can even get a bit more details about them. So you'll be able to see what's working and what's not, what types of things are getting shared more than others. Second tip, and you have to be quick, is to mix it up. So don't post the same sorts of things all the time. One of the traps people fall into is posting information that's always about them. So whether you're a business or a community group, you could be a church or a club. If you're always posting information just about yourself, eventually people will get sick of that. The classic is shops who always post products or stories about their products all the time, trying to make a sale on every post. It's a really bad formula. So keep it a bit unpredictable, keep it personal, keep it interesting. Make a little plan. I always say grab a bit of paper, write down 10 different types of posts that you can do, and just start a bit of a cycle. So go through and make sure, oh, I haven't done a story for a while, I'm going to put a story in, or I haven't done a sell post for a while, I'm going to put one of those in. Also vary the time of day that you're posting because different people view at different times, and also different days. So you might do a different type of posts on different days. Don't do all your sale posts all on a Thursday, for example. Mix it up, change it around. Our business is called Good Funny Smart, and that's because we found that those are three types of things which tend to keep people very engaged. So by good, we mean things that are positive, uplifting, helpful, if you like, and just things that are inspirational. So here's an example of a good post that you might put up, for example. Funny, things that are just ha-ha funny, they work really well for engagement. So they may not add to your overall community or they may not sell you products, but they may keep people engaged with your page so that when a sale post does go up, it gets more reach. And a smart example is where someone learns something or is reminded of something that's true through one of your posts. So it could be a tip, a trick, it could be a hack, it could be a sale on at a different shop, or it could be anything that's something that they're learning for the first time, something where they feel a bit cleverer after reading your post. Tip 3 is to crowdsource your content. So one sure way to get information that your community is interested in is to ask them questions and then simply collate their responses back and deliver it back to the community. So here's the top 10 lunchbox ideas that our school mums came up with, for example. Or here's the top 3 questions people are struggling with in this particular area. And just feed it back to the community. Because it came from the community, you know it's interesting to your community. So asking questions is a really great way to build community and also to get interesting, engaging content. So here's a post we did in that sort of vein. Someone's after a suggestion, here's a question, and then we've had something like 60 or 70 responses from different community members. Now we'll probably go write a blog post with the top 20 ideas and deliver that back to the community. We know it will be interesting. Tell stories. So as in any message transmission, stories are a great way to do that. So we often grab a story from our community. People will often deliver us a story or we'll seek out a story and we'll just tell that story as a post, and we find those are very engaging, interesting posts in general. You can be a bit vulnerable in social media. You can be a bit honest. You don't want to overshare, obviously. So the story could be about you. You need to be careful with names and places. You need to be careful with confidentiality if it's someone else's story. But you can work around those things in a fairly easy way. The last tip, and we've only got a minute and a half to go, is to capitalize on current trends. So an easy way to come up with content ideas is to think about what's going on in your community at the moment. So if you're running some sort of community group, you might have upcoming events or programs, you might have particular themes that you're working through. Build those into your content because that connects real life to the social media and it gives it reason and it's very engaging. Special events, so you've got Mother's Day, Easter, Christmas, all the different things that are on that you can capitalize on, all the special days. Every day is the International Day of something. So you can Google that and find a calendar and you can make sure that at least once a week you're throwing up something that's relevant for your community. It just keeps them informed of what's going on. Tap into people's experiences. So what are they going through at the moment? Maybe there's current trends on the internet, Gangnam Style, Harlem Shake. They're both a bit old now, but there's always something. Get involved in those. Here's some examples where we've done that. So Clean Water Day, we did a meme particularly that got really good likes and kept our community engaged. Anti-bullying Day or Bullying Violence Day, that got amazing engagement because it was relevant to that particular week or the day. So there's 5 quick tips for keeping your community engaged on your Facebook page. And if you have any questions, please just post them in the social media page or wherever you saw this video. Thanks.